Bangkok burns in the fury of anti-government demonstrations in a night of bloodshed and destruction.
This week marks the anniversary of a dark and unforgettable event in Thai political history. In May 1992, the Thai people rose up against General Suchinda Khrapayun. In the event known as Black or Bloody May from May 17th to the 20th, the army cracked down on protesters. An estimated 200,000 people joined the protests. Two different official accounts reported the death tolls at 44 and 52. Some 3,500 people were arrested. There were many disappearances and over 1,000 people were injured. Here's a timeline of what happened. On the 23rd of February 1991, a group of generals calling themselves the National Peacekeeping Council, or NPKC, ousted the democratically elected government of Chachai Chuhawan, which was accused of corruption. Diplomat Anand Panyarashun was chosen as interim prime minister. A year later, on the 22nd of March 1992, a national election was held and won by the pro-military and conservative Justice Unity Party under the leadership of Narong Wongwan. However, when news broke that Narong was blacklisted by the US government as an alleged drug trafficker in April, the parliament elected General Suchinda Khrapayun as prime minister in his stead. Suchinda was the army chief and chief of armed forces who led the coup just about a year earlier. Massive protests followed, and some politicians began fasting protests, including General Damlong Simuang, the leader of the Palang Dharma Party.
ในขณะนี้กลุ่มที่ดำเนินการก่อกวนความไม่สงบอยู่นอกสภา
On May 7th, General Suchinda was to announce his policies in parliament. Opposition parties boycotted the session. A protest led by General Damlong gathered outside of parliament. The session was cancelled. On May 9th, the government and opposition parties agreed to amend the constitution, specifically to add a clause where the prime minister must come from elections. On May 11th, Damlong also ended street protests, but with a warning to return on May 17th if there's no progress on the Constitution amendment by the 15th of May. Protests resumed on May 17th after government parties decided to back General Suchinda for the full 4-year term. There were sporadic clashes between government troops and protesters. Violence increased from around midnight. On May 18th, the government imposed a state of emergency on Bangkok and nearby provinces. By midday, soldiers arrested General Damlong. Protests spread throughout Bangkok and violence continued to increase. On May 19th, government troops cracked down on the Lachadamnon protest site where scores of arrests were made. Protesters regrouped at Ramkhamhaeng University and called for the government to take responsibility for the protesters who were killed. On May 20th, King Rama IX summoned General Suchinda and General Damlong for an audience. And on May 23rd, the king announced general amnesty for everyone involved. The next day, General Suchinda and General Damlong made a joint television appearance in which General Suchinda announced his resignation.
ผมจึงได้กราบถวายบังคมลาออกจากตำแหน่งนายกรัฐมนตรีเรียบร้อยแล้ว
On May 26th, the emergency decree was lifted. Then on the 10th of June, Anand Panyarashun was once again chosen as the interim prime minister. From Bangkok, I'm Teirra Kamolvattanavith reporting for Thisrupt.